change of plan due to my dipshit brother. Just been up for a couple hours, just hanging around. We're gonna have to go pick him up in Bozeman and drive him back to Billings, which is gonna end our trip way soon. But it's all right. You know, family first and all that. But so probably next clip you'll see is me either picking him up or dropping him off, one of the two. So. Hey guys, familiar spot. My brother kind of ruined my whole day, or my day plans at least. My whole week plans. I don't know. I really don't have anything to upload. I feel like a bag of beans here because the last couple of videos have just been god awful because I've been busy. But it's one of those things. I promised 30 videos in 30 days. I didn't promise 30-minute videos in 30 days. I don't know. I'm doing my best. I just wish I could produce a slightly better product. But I feel like life keeps getting in the way of actually producing something you guys are going to want to watch. But at the same time, I don't want to stop. I don't want to give up. I want to follow through with this because, partially because it's fun. I really like, you know, making these videos for you guys and producing content, making something. It's cool. But at the same time, I'm just not doing anything cool that's worth posting, and I feel like I'm wasting your time. Although I guess you did choose to click on this video, so I suppose I'm not wasting your time as much as I'm... My brother left some strawberry milk in my fridge there. If I wasn't fasting, I'd drink that. If anybody wants strawberry milk, please hit me up. But I'm back home, back at my homestead. You know, maybe I'll tell you a little story tonight. I'll regale you with a little Montana folklore. Now, this is a true story of something that happened to me and my family. And I am not an expert on old American or Native American folklore, so please take everything I say at this guy is dumb, and please do more research because these are fascinating old stories that are entirely told. It's entirely the oral tradition. That's how all Native American history is, and it's really cool. So please, do some studying, do some research. It'll be able to tell you more than I can. But, so I fish, well, I used to fish when I was younger at this lake called Bighorn Canyon. And Bighorn Canyon is the flooded Bighorn River. It's also called Yellowtail. The place has a ton of spiritual meaning to the Native American populations, the prairie Native populations. I'm not cultured enough to tell you what they are. I know it was called the Valley of the Chiefs once upon a time. Like, I think they buried chiefs there before they flooded it. But again, I don't know that. I think I heard that one time, so. But anyway. Oh, I know there's a medicine wheel on top of it, and it's a really old one. Like an old medicine wheel. So, in this canyon that's super deep, and it's pretty long. It stretches from Montana into Wyoming. And you can get pretty deep in there and pretty secluded. So, we were camping in a canyon called Hoodoo Canyon. Hoodoo Canyon's a little offshoot that nobody really ever goes to. And it's got a floating porta potty in it that nobody ever uses because nobody ever goes there, so it doesn't stink. So usually what we would do is we'd camp, we'd go deep into the canyon there, and there's a little stream that comes in. We'd fish by that stream. We'd fish all day, swim, hang out, and then we would tie onto the pooper so the ladies could, you know, use their restroom at night and stuff like that, and we'd go to bed. So the first time we try this, we tie onto the floating pooper, and all is well. We've caught our fish, we've gutted our fish, We're eating them, we're frying them. It's a hell of a good time. And good old American camping fun. And we're telling ghost stories, alien stories, having a good time. My aunt is a I joke she's my psychic lesbian aunt, and that's what she is. She's just a really crazy lady, but she's a badass. And she, was telling all these crazy stories, and we all go to bed. So I'm laying next to my dad. My dad was this great big bear of a man. He was 6'6", like 600 pounds. My father was a walking mark of the beast, an absolute unit, if you will. And we're camped out, and it's dead quiet, just like it is tonight. Nothing but the bugs. And everybody's half asleep. The ladies are in the boat, me and Dad on the dock. And then all of a sudden, at the other end of the canyon, maybe 10, 15 miles, you heard 3 distinct notes. Now, I've camped, I've fished, I've spent a lot of time listening to Montana at nighttime. Nothing ever repeats the same noises more than once. You might have howls where they'll get to the same pitch, but it's never the same 3 pitches. So I hear that and I think, that was odd. And I think my dad was like, "Did you hear that?" And I was like, "Yeah." My brother was in the boat, and he was like, "Did you hear that?" My mom and my aunt. And then what got really fucking trippy, on the other end of the canyon, closer to us, something answered it. The same 3 notes. 3 exact notes. I'm an opera singer. I've got good pitch. I know what distinct notes are. The same 3 notes answered on the other side of the canyon. And then they started getting closer. And closer and closer and closer on top of us till it was like they were 5 feet from our boat. And then all of a sudden, dead silence. So we're all kind of shitting our pants, but you're in a canyon in the middle of the night in pitch black. Not an ounce of light. Unless you have a hell of a light on your boat, you are not leaving. So we were there for the night. We weren't going nowhere. But everyone was a little unnerved. Everyone was a little freaked out. And needless to say, we got up the next morning. We stayed for a little bit, but we kind of got the hell out of Dodge. We headed straight back to the dock. And we were there was 2 sides of the dock. One of them was ran by the tribe, and one isn't, because it's on the res. And the other one extends all the way down into Wyoming, and it's not run by the tribe. I think it's run by Fish and Feathers. Fish and Game, if you will. And so we go to the side on the tribe, and my dad goes up to get the car, and my mom goes into the marina. And in the marina, they were like, "You stayed in Hoodoo Canyon? Nobody stays in Hoodoo Canyon. Like, that is a forbidden place. The little people live there." And I guess my dad knew stuff about the little people, but that was the first time I had ever heard of them. Now, the little people. Now, there are a million, I think, like almost every tribe has stories of these little people who always seem to have some kind of crazy properties to them. The stories aren't all the same. Sometimes they're like protecting nature. Sometimes they're mischievous. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes, I think there's like some stories of tribes fighting them, but they had metal before the tribes knew what metal was, that kind of thing. Some stories of them being crazy strong. Some stories of them being shapeshifters. But all the stories kind of consist of, they are these little people who, like this little tribe, who are super in tune with nature and in some capacity are one with it or protecting it, right? Kind of like the elves in like Lord of the Rings and stuff, but little. And so this is really weird. My dad goes up to the car because he was going to back the boat down, and the car was out of gas, which was really strange. So we go and we get back on the boat, And I think we were going to the other bay. I don't remember what we were going to the other bay for. It might have been a gas can or something or the rather. I don't remember why we went back. But I do know there was no gas in our car. So for some reason we were going to the other side. I was fairly young, so all this with a grain of salt. But we were going to get back in our boat, and the Native American guys running the marina ran out and were like, listen, you have to go back to that canyon and leave an offering because you took up their resources, you were in their space, yada, yada, yada. My dad was like super Christian and didn't really believe in anything that the Bible didn't talk about, right? So my dad was kind of bah humbug about the whole thing and was like, nah, we're not doing that. We got other shit we got to get done. But my mom was like, no, we need to go back and we're going to do it. So my mom from the marina bought peanut M&Ms, beef jerky, and some cigarettes, I think. And I think you're supposed to offer them tobacco and like candy and meat, like sweet things and meat. I've heard people say a lot of things, but I've heard a lot of people say those three. So we did. We went back to the exact spot where we fished all day. We laid out all the offerings, and I think we picked up like a poop or a tampon or something. Like we had left something degradable. Probably not actually degradable. Listen, we're not the perfect people. But we picked it up. And we took it back to the boat. We threw it away. And we cleaned up the site, and we left an offering, both. And no sooner did we do that than a black bear walked out right in front of us on the other side of the water. Now, this is probably, I want to say 30 yards across the canyon, because like there's a stream that comes in, and the canyon narrows into this stream, right? So we're right at the stream where the stream meets the lake. So it's not far across, and the bear is just staring at us, and I have no idea where the hell this bear came from, because you can kind of see back into where the stream comes. You can kind of see that whole way. And the bear walks out from behind a rock, catches a fish right in front of us, and just starts eating it. 20 yards from us, looking up at us, goes back to his fish, eats that fish, looks back up at us, eats his fish. And then we go back to the marina. I don't remember, again, this is where the story gets fuzzy for me. I remember we went back to the marina that our car was at, and the gas tank was where we had left it. It was half full. And we have no idea if we thought, maybe we parked the car on a slope, but the Native American people who were there swear to God that it was the little people giving us our gas back. There's like all kinds of stories of like, and again, it's a lot of it's folklore, right? But like little people would go and they'd tie up your fishing lines, and that's why you'd get snagged, because you were fishing improperly. You were, using some cheater bait or something like that, or you weren't honoring the water you were fishing in. I don't know if any of those events mean anything, but I know sitting on that dock that night, hearing those three notes get louder and louder was scary as crap. One of the most scary things I've ever heard in my life. And what I do know is that every year, me personally, I will always throw my first good fish back, no matter what. And I always leave a bag of peanut M&Ms out for them. I don't really believe in it. But, again, I think I talked about this in my second video. I think nobody has the right to claim that they know everything. I don't know every bit of how the world works. Let's say there is an all-knowing, all-loving God or something of that variety, right? We don't know how he would manage things. It's a big world. There's a lot of stuff to do. Maybe he delegates. Maybe he's like, yo, you group of angels, go be little people. I don't know. I don't claim to know. I don't pretend to know. I ain't never died and come back. And I ain't never met a little person, but if I do, I'll get back to you guys. I spend a lot of time outdoors, so it just might happen. Well, there's a little piece of Montana folklore for you for the evening, and at least I can post something that's a little fun, a little good content. I know, I'm sorry, it's not the fishing that I like to do, it's not what I want to do, but it's better than nothing. At least I'm putting something out there, and I'm sharing a story. Not a lot of people know about the little people, and they're a super, super cool piece of American folklore that exists in a lot of different cultures. I don't remember. There's a story of giants in Nevada too, or one of the tribes in the Southwest fought a tribe of red-headed giant cannibals, which again, another really cool story. Please look into that. I'm by no means qualified to talk about it, but when you're out on these bodies of water and you're out in these places that are sacred and are special, you you should do a little studying, do a little learning, have a knowledge of the history of those who were there before you, and try to respect their culture. At the end of the day, you're in their house, right? So always be loving, always show kindness, and always try to understand what you're doing. I stand by that with nature in general. Always be as grateful as you can, man, because it's so cool. We've been gifted such a beautiful planet, man, and I'm not a global warming, environmentalist. Or it's all got. I drive a gas car and I burn a lot of fuel, guys. I get it. I use a lot of power. But any steps we can take to take care of this pretty green rock we're on, we should try to do them, because it's a special place, man. There's a reason that we walk out, we look at environments, and we smile and we're happy about nature, that kind of thing. There's got to be something encoded in us. We're here to take care of it in some variety. We're the only animals on this planet that are smart enough to make this planet better. Everything else just kind of happens by chaos and chance, but we're the only ones who can actually take a hand in changing. So we should try to do good things. Make shit better. Well, alright guys. Again, I'm sorry for the low quality videos, but I have the content I have. I'm going to post every day. It's going to be 30 days, 30 vids. So they're not all going to be pretty. But thank you for sharing your evening with me, and have a great night, guys.